This is the Rush Discush, where the discuss is Rush. Well, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Rush Discush. We are not going to be battling songs today, because what are we going to be doing, Adam?
We're going to be battling out set lists of the live concerts.
Yeah, we're going to give a recap. We recently attended 2 Rush concerts. Originally, it was only supposed to be 1 Rush concert. We'll get into that, but we went to Dickies Arena on July 11th. Originally, it was supposed to be not July 11th. I forget the
It's June 30th.
June 30th. We were supposed to see them in June. And as we all know, Getty got laryngitis and bronchitis, and they postponed. We did post a vlog of our experience of finding out and our faces and all of that. You can go watch it on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, so where do we want to start? Do we want to recap the whole story or just talk about the concerts? Just go straight into the concerts. What do you think, Adam?
Oh, man. I think just dive straight into the concerts because, most of the other stuff was typical. Everything else was smooth sailing. And so just diving right into what it was like. Because I've been to concerts before. I went to the R30 concert. That was my first concert in general. But then obviously my first Rush concert. And then I saw Snakes and Arrows. And then I unfortunately was not able to see Clockwork Angels tour, but I did see the Time Machine tour before that, and then R40. And so it was really cool to be able to see them again after thinking that it was never going to happen.
Yeah, and after thinking it was never going to happen for me, seeing as I came to be a Rush fan after they stopped touring. And so this has been an incredible experience for me because I just figured, well, it's just too late for me. And so then being able to see them in person was really quite a treat. So July 11th, this past Saturday, we saw them again at Dickies Arena. And first impressions, let's go. What do you think?
So this wasn't Rush specific, but the arena I really enjoyed. It was designed very well. The last time I saw Rush in Dallas, it was at the basketball, where all the basketball games happen. And so it's a very echoey space. It just wasn't a very good sound. But Dickies Arena has been built so that it does really well with concerts. It's not very reverby. The room itself just doesn't echo a ton, and so it makes it really easy for the mix to be whatever the engineers want it to be. And so I appreciated that. And even though where we were sitting for the first night, it gets a little bit bassy, but that's just the nature of sound. And with being up higher, it was a little harder to hear some of the higher frequency things, but the mix itself was as good as it could be.
Yeah, so the first concert we were in section 209. So we're in the nosebleeds on Getty's side of the stage, which if you're facing the stage is the right side. And they were, in my opinion, incredible seats. I don't think there's a bad seat in that whole arena.
No.
And it sounded amazing. It was extremely loud, obviously, because it's a rock concert. I'm not surprised by that. But we had ear protection, which made it absolutely perfect. We really enjoyed the experience of being able to have ear protection, because without it, it was very, very, very loud. And almost to the point where you couldn't really hear things that you wanted to hear unless you had ear protection on, and they kind of diffused it to where you could hear everything you wanted to hear. My only sadness that came is I really could not hear Getty from those seats. I had a few moments where I could hear the bass guitar, but like really I couldn't hear Geddy for most of the concert, which made me really sad, obviously.
Yeah, and you just mean his bass, because
His
obviously
bass.
his voice,
Yeah.
we could...
So we could hear all of Geddy's voice. I meant to say his bass guitar if I didn't. But
Yeah, that was... There were a couple parts where like he had a very bass forward part, and you could hear that for a brief moment,
for like
but
a brief
then
moment.
the rest of it just kind of disappeared into the mud up there. But like I said, that's just a feature of those seats up there.
Exactly. And it wasn't like a deal breaker or anything. I just noticed. I'm like, I really can't hear the bass guitar. But their sound is absolutely insane. It's just, we've talked about this so many times that it's amazing that now 4 with, I forget his name, Lauren on the keys, which is so cool that he was able to do that. I love that so much. Can create so much sound, and it sounds like the recording. And something I just want to go ahead and just bring up right now is Geddy sounded incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And there have been so many comments and a lot of discourse online of people who have been to Rush concerts since the 70s, like the beginning of time, that are saying that were at that concert, that were saying that that is the best Geddy has ever sounded. And I think it's so crazy that we got a Rush concert right after a huge amount of vocal rest and rehabilitation and recovery, and we got fresh Geddy.
Yeah.
He was ready. He was like, let's go. And his voice reflected that. He sounded so good.
Yeah, and having seen the R40 tour, that was just like an insane tour, back to back to back to back to back, and his voice definitely reflected that at the time. And he struggled with some of the higher things, and that just was not the case at that Saturday show. He was just so comfortable. It was so relaxed, and there were like, he was singing stuff from the 80s that he sounded almost exactly like 80s Geddy.
It was crazy. And I just I haven't stopped thinking about Xanadu in that first concert we saw, that he sounded so good.
Mm-hmm.
And he adjusts things down obviously now because his voice is not a teenager's voice. But the way that he was still able to hit some really high notes for his current voice was amazing. It was really a treat to be able to see him in person doing that.
Yeah. And so let's just dive into the set list. If you haven't seen the show yet, I'm sure a lot of you have seen that the set lists change. And, even within what we already know of what has been played and like kind of the pattern that it goes through, there are still even adjustments within those. And so it's pretty cool experience to kind of know like your night is a special night no matter what. Because there's going to be something different, not just in their performances, but in the actual songs that you're hearing. But the one thing that doesn't change is that opener.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts with a video, pretty hilarious video, and some throwback moments in that video. And then, oh my gosh, can we just talk about the visuals of this concert though?
Yeah.
Like, we are still talking about the first concert, so we are, even from viewing from the side at the very top, the visuals were stunning. And the cage, like, screen projected thing that they had go up and down and had different visuals was the coolest thing ever. Like, it was just really, really well done. All the visuals were top notch. And you mentioned, like, when we first bought these tickets, like, oh my gosh, last year, November.
Yeah, like November.
When they first announced the tour, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if these seats will be okay. Like, I don't know. Like they're kind of high, and he's like, and Adam's like, trust me, like no matter where you sit, Rush puts on a show and they make their concerts super cool anyways. And then you were right. It was amazing no matter where we were sitting.
Yeah, like I mean, seeing Rush just play, like they could be on a bare stage and just play the music and you'd be hooked because they're just so good at what they do. But then to have the added time and precision put into the design of that show is just incredible.
Yeah. So then going into Xanadu was super, super thrilling. It sounded incredible. And then we go into Dreamline after that, which I about lost my mind because I knew that Xanadu was the opener. I did not know anything else about the set list other than like they did nothing from Power Windows. That's the only information I had because I didn't want Adam to spoil it because Adam had already seen the set list. And so he knew what to expect. And he had to warn me that there was no Power Windows, which I understand why, but I love Power Windows. So I was like, dang it. But anyway, the rest of the set list just, I mean, mind-bogglingly good.
Yeah, and yeah, to go from Dreamline into Subdivisions, into Headlong Flight, into Bravado is like just all of those things were just, if I had gone in there completely blind, I would have just been knocked over.
Yeah.
Because like they're all great songs, but not necessarily what you would expect outside of Subdivisions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even Red Sector A, I was not expecting to hear that at a concert. And it's so funny, us being the Rush fans that we don't consider anything super deep cuts because we listen to everything. But you could definitely tell like people did not know Red Sector A as well, or like even like I don't know, looking down the set list, like Witch Hunt, obviously. So we got the set list that had moving pictures in order. So we had all of moving pictures. They played the whole album from beginning to end, and like even like Witch Hunt, even Vital Signs. I feel like it was so interesting to see like the ones that people really knew and then like kind of didn't know. But all of them a treat to hear in person, and kind of switching gears, sorry. Just all of the tributes to Neil were so special and emotional. And Adam did admit that he shed a tear or two during Bravado.
Yeah, that first night with Bravado, I was not expecting to get as emotional, but that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
You have a deep connection to that song anyways, let alone the tribute to Neil, like double whammy, Adam.
Yeah, the video that goes along with that is excellent. But then the most touching thing to me was the fact that, so here you have a video that is paying tribute to Neil. Geddy has his tributes throughout where he's, talking about how this concert isn't just for them as the players, but also as a way to honor the legacy of their friend.
Yeah.
And then Alex, who he'll say something if he needs to, but he's hard pressed to be serious about anything. But to see him, so he plays the solo in Bravado, like the recording, but then at the end he solos over, the last bit where it's just instrumental, and he's just using that as his tribute.
Oh yeah.
To say all the things that words can't express. And so to see him doing that and just pouring out his soul through that solo, it was just very touching. And then to be able to see that twice and see the differences in the solos where you get to see his improvisational soul just get to fly through it. It was very touching, and it was just something new that you don't always experience at a Rush concert, because they do play things not strictly 100% like the recording, but they do, all of their songs are very structured, and so you get that structure, and so to be able to have something like that was very special.
It was really special. And then also with Time Stand Still, which is one of my favorite Rush songs of all time. To be able to see that in person also was, I mean, life-changing. I was just sitting there vibrating in my seat. I was so excited. And I did like the little nod to the music video with the visuals, because it was another like tribute to Neil moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the motorcycle going down the road, which I thought was really special. And then I did giggle just a little when they had like them on the, I guess like they're on a lake, and then they have like Neil's drum set, which I think was from what, Clockwork Angels, or was it? I don't remember what.
I believe that was the Time Machine.
The Time Machine tour, yeah. So I'm just giggling because I'm only thinking about the music video with everybody floating around and stuff, but it still was very touching. They did such an incredible job paying tribute to Neil, and definitely we all felt like the spirit of that night. The spirit of radio, in fact, was also played, which was super fun right before the intermission. And yeah, so then eventually we got to Closer to the Heart, 2112. They did not play the entire 2112 in the first concert that we went to.
Although I want to go back to, because after Red Sector A in the first set, then La Villa Strangiato.
Oh, yeah.
And I always like seeing the way that they change the start of it, like how they get into it. In the past, they've started out as a polka. They've started just they like to get goofy with it, but I particularly enjoyed this way of incorporating Lauren with the keys a little bit more, and just having it be very dreamlike in getting into it, and with the guitar swells and all of that. So it was a very cool way to start. And then, I mean, that song is just always incredible.
Always. And they did the same thing, giving Lauren a moment when he did his intro for Camera Eye.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. Really cool intro.
One of my favorite parts of the night, actually.
Yeah. Visuals for that one was also really cool. It just made for a very well put together, very smooth, and very fun concert. And you could tell they were having fun. Mm-hmm. This happened in the concert we went to last night, which we'll get into. But I think after La Villa is when Geddy said it should be illegal to have that much fun. And I was like, we're all having fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, the crazy thing about technology is just how far it's come since the last time that they toured, because the videos just top notch, the lighting, and like Julianne talked about, just this descending screen that they're able to incorporate. So like during Vital Signs, there's a moment where it seems like there's the heart monitor going around the band.
It was really cool. Didn't you say it was his son that's the artistic director? Sorry, Geddy's son is the artistic director?
Yeah, Alan Weinrib is the artistic director. He's been that for quite a while now.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, they have like a whole
team, of course.
Of it, but it's, the coordination. I mean, the amount of stuff that goes into making a tour like this is insane.
It is insane. The logistics and everything about it. And they just do it right, in my opinion. I obviously don't work with bands, but I do work with I work for an online business. And it's a lot of moving parts to make anything possible. A lot of people, a lot of time. And they just nailed it. And they just put on such a good show. And I would just like to point out, I said just like 700 times just now, the show ends with the finale of 2112, and all of a sudden they go off the stage and we're like, what the heck? How is this already over? And of course they have an encore. What I was not expecting in a million years was that the encore would start with Bytor and the Snow Dog.
Yeah.
I was tickled because I love Bytor and the Snow Dog, but I was like, they're playing that? That's awesome.
Yeah, that
That
one
is
is
not what I would expect.
such a fun one.
It was so fun to see how Alex did it live. Like, we got to, like, no, he'll never play it that way, probably ever again, because it's just like nonsense solo, like when they're doing the growling dog part.
Yeah.
It's like, that's never going to be the same thing twice. And so it was really fun to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Annika, being able to see her step into
Oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about Annika yet. What's
into
wrong
that
with
role,
that?
it's, I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
like, so whenever she was first announced as being the touring drummer, obviously I had to see what she was about, looked up some of her YouTube stuff, and right away I knew that she was the right pick, because the way that she composes for the drums is very much in the same vein as Neil. And I think a lot of people that complained about it at first, or who are like continuing to complain about, well, she's not playing the parts exactly as recorded, she's just not as precise and this and that. Like, well, that's not the point. The point is she's bringing her musicianship to the table, and that's what is needed. It's not needed to be someone who can just be a computer and replicate exactly what Neil did night after night. It's how can you support Alex and Geddy and their playing and their exploration of these songs, because, you know, that's what Neil did. When you'd get Alex and Geddy in a room together and they'd come up with these crazy like guitar and bass parts, they'd bring them to Neil, and then he has to figure out, what can I compose that will support their ideas and propel this song forward? What's the best thing for the song right now? And that's what she brings to the table, is that musical intuition and that same kind of drive to support the song. And so, yes, she doesn't play all the fills exactly as Neil would, but she's not Neil, but she's someone who is able to encapsulate the meaning of the songs and is able to bring herself to the table. And so then it's great to be able to hear her influences in the songs as well. And so it's been really cool to see like the fills that she does almost exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other fills where she deliberately is just doing what she feels in the moment. And it's cool to see her take some chances sometimes. And it's just a lot of fun. It makes for a very rewarding experience.
It was such a privilege to see her play. She is totally the right pick. She did an incredible job. She's a girl like me. No, she's awesome. She's strong. She's confident. She is a very incredible musician. And it was so, so cool to see her play. And she did great. She did great. Like, no notes.
Yeah.
Nothing to say other than incredible musician, and she is the right pick, and she was just meant to be on that stage with them. And it was so fun to see her play. They did so good with the camera work for this concert. Like, the screens that they had were so massive and you could see everything, and it was so cool to see all the close-ups of her. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Should we move on to the second night of Rush that we attended? Was there anything else you want to say about the first night?
I guess we neglected to mention that they played Anthem and New World Man in the first
Yeah, that was really cool too.
half. Yeah, just those are awesome bangers that I was very happy to see in that set.
Yeah, New World Man especially just has such a great energy to it, and it's super fun to like dance to it live. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then obviously closing out the whole show with Working Man
Yeah.
tradition at this point.
Yeah.
But I did think it was really cool that they paid tribute to John
I was just
Rutsey.
about to say, and they also had a tribute to John. It was really cool, really special that they had him there, and then they just had everybody all together at the end. It was really special. I really enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you want to know what like all-time great musicianship is, it's that show, because everyone there is there to contribute equally to the production of these songs. I mean, Lauren, he'll play what he needs to play, and he'll stand there, and you can tell that he's happy to be wherever he needs to be. That, he's not a prima donna of like, oh, I can't believe that I'm not playing through every single one of these songs, or that Geddy is playing this part, taking away from me playing in what could be my moment to shine or whatever, which unfortunately you do get that with a lot of musicians, where they turn it into some competition.
Yeah, I mean, any good musician is exactly like Lauren. Like, you just do what is necessary for the creation of music and not make it a big deal. Me saying this as a second violinist, of course, but still, like, that's exactly how it should be. And Rush as people, they're just no nonsense. They're just like, no, we're just going to do what we want to do, and they're going to do a good job, and they're not going to have an ego about it. And so that's just kind of like the vibes. That's what the vibes were at both concerts.
Yeah.
Are we moving on to night 2? That was unexpected, and yet we went to Rush again last night. By the way, we should mention, we are exhausted right now. I am so tired. So we went to the first concert. We were walking to our car in the Chevrolet parking garage, and Adam was like, oh my gosh, this is the set list for the concert on Monday, and he's naming all these songs, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, don't get me wrong, Moving Pictures is great, but I have been on the record to say that it's not my favorite Rush album. Not that I don't like it. Calm down, everyone. I do like Moving Pictures, but it isn't my favorite. And so I was happy to hear it. But there's a lot of other songs like, man, I wish we could have heard this. I wish we could have heard that. And like, that's what the other set list was. Like, A Farewell to Kings was on that playlist, you guys. I about fell over when you told me The Trees and The Garden were on that set list. Anyway, so we were like, we should go again, but no, because like that would be ridiculous. It's like a big thing for us to have even gone, because we have 5 kids and we have to manage all of that, and we work, and like we were tired from that concert. So we let it sit for a couple of days. We thought really hard about it, and we could not find the right tickets. And we're just like, no, we're not going to drop this much more money, blah, blah, blah. And then you get back on Ticketmaster again, and where were these resale tickets that all of a sudden come from? They just popped up in dead center to the stage, front row, the very first balcony seats, the lowest balcony section, right smack dab in the middle, right behind the soundboard, were these 2 tickets that were dirt cheap, that I think somebody was just trying to get rid of them. And they weren't there before, but then they were there. And I was like, Adam, look at this. And we were like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. We would regret it if we didn't.
Yeah, because they ended up being not much more than what we paid for the nosebleeds. And it was like, like when we tell you it was dead center, it's dead center.
Like, you couldn't have gotten more center than where we were, and not be on the floor where you like, there's heads and in the way and everything. Like, we could see everything perfectly.
And so it was really cool to be able to see the show the way that the designers designed it.
Yes.
Because from their vantage point, because, even if we had been on the floor, it's still a little lower, and we've got, like Julianne said, you've got people in front of you, you're looking up a little bit more. But just being able to be at that same level as the control booth and be able to see it framed perfectly, it was just something else. It was incredible.
It was insane. Like, It was an entire laser show, an intricate lights and laser show that we didn't get on Saturday because we were from the side. We saw that lasers were happening, be like, oh, look, there's lasers coming on the side, but we couldn't see what was happening. And then to be like dead on to see the full visual effect with the audio, obviously it's a concert, but the both together made an entirely different experience than what we got on Saturday. And we could hear the bass that night, the bass guitar.
Yeah.
That made me so happy because I could actually hear my favorite bass fill in Time Stand Still.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, man, just Geddy's playing was just incredible. Like that night, I feel like his voice was a little tired.
It was definitely more tired than Saturday, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't bad, but it wasn't,
like super fresh.
Saturday was just like another level.
It really was. I don't know if we'll ever hear Geddy like that ever.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
But then his playing, I feel like on the second night was just a notch above.
Oh yeah, he was just going after it that night.
Yeah.
So very, very excited to hear this set list. Far Cry came on and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Subdivisions again. And then the Pass. Oh my gosh.
That was...
Oh my gosh. One of the best moments of my life. Honestly, it was so good.
Mm-hmm. So I think that Far Cry and the Pass are two of the most perfect live songs. Like they're excellent to listen to on the album, but the way that they come across in a live show is just on another level.
They sounded like the recording. It was insane. Oh, we're getting down the list a little farther, but I'm bringing it up now just because I'm talking about how to sound like the recording. A lot of them still did sound like the recording, except for obviously when Geddy had to bring things down and like change keys when necessary. But the one that sounded literally verbatim was The Anarchist.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and my theory is because, well, that's older Geddy created that up. That's current Geddy's voice that did Clockwork Angels. And it was crazy. We're just sitting like, am I listening to this on my phone? It's live. Like they're doing it in front of me. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, and so it was an interesting up and down with that concert.
It was emotional, you guys, because I went in with the impression that I was going to hear The Garden and A Farewell to Kings and Distant Early Warning. And I did get to hear The Trees, which is one of my favorite Rush songs ever. And they had really cool videos too to go with The Trees. But what happened, Adam? What did we get on July 30th at the Dickies Arena?
Well, on July
Did I say
13th.
July 30th? Oh my gosh. I meant to say the 13th.
But yeah.
Remember, we're very tired.
But we got a very special, not before seen set list, which consisted of, in the second half after intermission, 2112 in its entirety, which they had done before.
We were expecting. We knew that was going to happen, which was so cool. Oh my gosh.
And then Time Stands Still, and then the entirety of Moving Pictures again. But starting with YYZ, going to the end so that they could finish with Tom Sawyer.
Yes. Yes.
Because Tom Sawyer originally was going to be the ender of that concert, but then...
Yeah.
So it was a little bittersweet to have those songs that we were so looking forward to.
Listen, I'm not mad because I still got to see Rush again, and the experience was way better that night because of where we sat and we could hear everything better and blah 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 and like better seats and stuff. But I was a moment I had to like check myself and be like, am I disappointed right now? At a Rush concert? That doesn't go together. And so I had I mean, it wasn't because, oh, I have to hear these songs again. Maybe it was a little bit, but it was mostly that I didn't get to hear The Garden
Yeah.
and Distant Early One and A Farewell to Kings. Like, it was gutting. It truly was really hard emotionally, but then the experience of like it being a better concert experience made up for like them changing the set list. But then also it's like, hey, we got a special set list that like nobody else has gotten on their last night in Texas. Like, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it did feel like they were making it up to all the people that had to
That's true.
move things around to be able to get to that concert again. And it also was a very smart move, I think, because yes, it would have been great to see those songs, but like you were saying earlier, a lot of the people there that were able to still go to those concerts, it seemed like didn't know a lot of the deeper cuts necessarily. And so I thought it was very smart to like cater's the wrong word, but like to refine the set list and decide on something that would give that specific audience exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, it was still an extremely electric, amazing concert. And we also forgot to mention when we got to see Free Will, which was not in the first concert. That was freaking sweet.
Yeah.
I loved Free Will so much. And you could tell like the crowd loved that one. And then they get down to the Anarchist and like no one's moving. And I'm like, you guys, this is so cool though. Like no one else is singing but me. That's not true. There are people in all sections that were like jamming out. But it definitely was like very few of us. I actually asked you, Adam, I was like, wait a second. I was under the impression that if you're a Rush fan, you're a super nerd and you know every single Rush song. And like, why doesn't everyone know every Rush song? And he's like, no, it's just like any band that people like get to a point where they stop listening and they don't know the new stuff. I was like, but with Rush?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the amount of times that I've see on countless forums of people like, yeah, just everything after Signals was just garbage, or then other people, everything after Counterparts was just terrible.
Yeah.
Or I never even tried to listen to anything past Power Windows.
Yeah, which like that's fine, but all that to say, this concert definitely was a good one for the masses, and it was really fun to see YYZ again too. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed being able to see Annika play YYZ again, and La Villa, of course, is always fun. And then moving on down the line to our encores of this concert, obviously Working Man stayed the same, obviously, but we got a different one that was not by Tor and the Snow Dog.
Yeah, we got to have the good old Finding My Way into Working Man
duo. That was cool.
Which is a classic concert closer. But being able to hear them just really have a lot of fun. Oh,
they were having so much fun in that encore, Adam. If you need to go on our Instagram, yeah. And I posted pictures and videos from both concerts, but from the second concert, there's the video of them doing the encore, and Alex goes over to the mic and he's like, oh yeah, or like whatever he does. You need to go watch the video, because I'm so glad I captured that, because it was just a moment of pure silliness and goofiness and fun, and they just had the best time together. And something else I want to bring up is how fun it was to see Geddy interact with Annika throughout the concert too. He would turn around and play towards her, and they would be interacting. At some points he would make her laugh, and they would just like have this camaraderie together while they were playing. And I'm just like, I love that dynamic so much.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that was the same kind of dynamic that they had with Neil.
Yeah.
Being able to include the drummer, because it is really easy for the drummer to just be like behind this impenetrable wall, because they're doing so much and they can't move around the stage. And so it's always really cool to be able to see them just all interacting as a unit. And at one point, Getty went over and was playing right next to Lauren, and they were hanging out.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I wonder if it's, I'm sure they're used to it now because they've been rehearsing for over a year together or something. But I wonder if it was strange for them to be playing and then turn around and it's not Neil. I don't know. I'm sure there was moments like that, but that they still love Annika, obviously, and they are grateful for her. But it sounds to me that they really have done an excellent job to just mesh as a band. And it was just a privilege to see that twice.
Yeah.
Do you have any other things you want to bring up or comments or observations?
The 2112 stuff cracked me up. Because the first night that we saw them playing the overture, there's I wish I didn't blank on which concert it was. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me. But one of the concert videos where they're playing the overture and it gets to the end, the meek shall inherit the earth, and Alex just completely forgets to come in. And so Getty's looking, and then he just starts singing, and then Alex comes in, and that's always cracked me up. And so this first night when they played the overture and it gets to that part, Getty looks over at him,
Okay.
you gonna come in this time?
Yeah, you're gonna not mess this up.
And so, but she did fine with there. But then the second night when they did 2112, overture was just fine. Everything was good. Then they get to going from the oracle into soliloquy, and when it's picking up and Alex has just his mega chords and he just completely forgot. He just totally missed them, and Getty's face is just like, whoa. You okay over there?
Yeah, there was not a lot of moments of straight up you could notice a huge mistake, but that was even with that though, gosh, it was so fun to see 2112 in its entirety.
Yeah.
The visuals too. Back to the visuals, the coolest freaking visuals. They have the priests back there, and they're electric things going around them, and there's fire, and there's a lot of pyrotechnics in this concert as well.
Yeah. And I loved, gosh, it's hard. It would be hard for me to pick my favorite visual of the night, but one of my favorites was during Discovery, where the cave comes in and the waterfall subtly turns into the strings of a guitar.
Yes, Adam, I'm just going to say it. That was the best visual of the concert. It was so cool. And it was really cool that we went again because we didn't get all of 2112, obviously, in the first concert, and we did in this one. And that visual alone, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. It's literally a once in a lifetime opportunity to see 2112 in its entirety live. And that specific cave visual that turned into a guitar. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm so glad we're here because we weren't sure we were going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to our families, by the way, for taking our boys. Our 3 older boys went to spend the night at my mom's. And then your mom put our twins to bed. One of which stayed up till 8 something p.m. Anyway,
that kid.
So just shout out to our families for making that possible, because just honestly thinking back on it right now, being able to see the ones that we didn't get to see on Saturday and just all of 2112 made it all worth it. And just to be able to see how much fun they were having, because they had fun both nights, obviously, but there was just something about them being this is the last night in Texas, and they could just tell they had fun.
Yeah, they were just leaving it all out on the stage.
You can tell that in Getty's bass playing.
Well, and also in Annika's playing during Moving Pictures.
Oh, totally.
Because, those are difficult songs.
All of them are difficult.
But, especially those ones, because yes, all of them are difficult, but those ones that everybody knows and everybody
Yeah.
is expecting and just like
Yeah.
excited to see and just nailing it the whole time, but also you could see that she was putting in the work.
She
It was
really was. She's
like,
strong, you guys.
yeah,
She's built. She's a strong drummer.
yeah, and it's wild that you don't really understand how hard it is for a drummer to do all of that until you're seeing someone else have to step into Neil's shoes.
Yeah.
Because Neil, I mean, there were times where like you could tell, like, man, this is hard for him to play. And so then to see someone who has to step into that role and do that night after night. And
She's just
there are
hardcore.
times when towards the end of the concert where the hits weren't quite as hard. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure like by the end of those
Well, I
concerts,
didn't
you're
even
just
notice
getting,
that. So
I mean, it's like the audio engineer in me is
yeah, that makes sense.
more sensitive to that sort of stuff. But it's like being like, oh yeah, you're tired.
Yeah.
Because this is
Long
a long
concert.
beat down of a concert. But the fact that she's able to continuously bring what's needed to the table, just, yeah, 100% right choice.
Yeah. It was also 100% the right choice for us to go to the concert again.
Oh yeah.
It was such a good experience. I'm so happy I finally got to see Rush, and maybe for the only time, we don't know. And also Getty's 72, and he's still jumping up and down with his bass as he does. And you don't know he's 72. Like they're both just still incredible musicians all these years, and how hard they've worked to be able to perform all those songs, learn all those songs again. And being able to see Alex's solos live, and I recorded as many of them as I could. I'm going to start rolling out more of the content that I've recorded, because the stuff I've posted so far is just kind of highlights, but I do want to post, more that we've recorded while we were there. But I guess all in all, 10 out of 10 experience, and I hope to be able to do it again, but I really don't know. We just don't know, so we'll see. But I'm just really pleased that we got to do that. It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always nice to be at a concert where, I mean, there were no fights, no crazy things going on. Everybody's polite to each other. It's just everybody's there to just have a good time. And, that's definitely not always the case at concerts.
Rush fans are pretty cool, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was cool to be able to see the other females there for me. Guys, it was hilarious. So during intermission in the first concert, everybody's like, obviously needs to go to the bathroom. And the men's line obviously is so long, but it wasn't long. The girls' line. And I was like walking, I had finished, and I was walking past this giant line of men waiting for the bathroom, and here's Adam, and I was like, ha, there's less girls here. And then like some of the guys in line started laughing, because they're like, yeah, that's true, like not as many girls. So it was kind of fun to be able to see other girl Rush fans. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. It was just incredible.
Yeah. And so if there are any of you out there who are still on the fence about going, who maybe think it's not going to live up to your expectations or whatever, it's, go see it. Go
see it.
You're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. I think, it's been sweet to go back and think about all these things, and just like to reflect on what the band has meant to us, and to be able to just see them live and appreciate how talented they are, and to get to relive moments that have been special to us, and to just, I think also is really cathartic to be able to, I guess, say goodbye to Neil again, and to
that
just
made me emotional.
give him another send off, and just recognize that his closest friends have moved on, in the sense that they're going out and doing what they love again, and they're doing it in a way that honors the memory and honors the many, many years of music that they made together, and that was really special.
I got emotional more so in the second night with Bravado, and just the pictures of him through the years. I was just like, oh, Neil. But yeah, all in all, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, if you've got a chance to go see them, go see them.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you get to see our sweet merch shirts.
Yeah.
Look at that. We got 2 in the same size, so we can share them.
That's true.